right, left, right, left, right, left.
This is the story of 10 soldiers with one ambition, to fly helicopters for the army. After 9 months, Course 354 is well into its advanced phase.
Right, I just want 2 minutes of your time to talk to you about Course Spirit. We haven't seen any.
But progress has not been smooth. 3 of the 10 have failed the course, the last 2 within a week of each other. Their departure has sent shockwaves through the group. Who will be the next to go? Course 354 are getting their first taste of battle. They have no firepower themselves, but they're the eyes of the artillery. They're using the helicopter as a platform to observe the enemy. They're now acting as aircraft commanders. They leave the flying to the instructors and concentrate on everything else: the map reading, the radios, and the lookout.
There it is. Left turn o'clock. Drop down, sir, please. Yeah.
When they've located the enemy, they duck out of sight and relay the information back to an artillery command post 10 miles behind the front line. The coordinates are converted into a precise bearing and trajectory. These are then passed on to the gunners.
Formation battery!
18, L32, number 2, load!
32, quick load! Take views. Correct.
Respond.
Bearing. Bearing, 6.
155 miles, elevation 317 miles. Number 2, adjust fire.
While the guns are adjusted, the helicopter waits. Corporal Mark Hitch is finding it hard to concentrate on the task. Since the 2 recent departures, he's become preoccupied by failure.
We honestly thought we were going to get through with everyone, and then for Marcus and Jim to go. And it just proved a point. You know, I mean, people have gone. People haven't just... No one's... How can I put it? Some people have failed the course, and they've had to face that decision. I haven't yet, and touch wood. Hopefully I won't have to. But at the end of the day, you've got to resign yourself to the fact that, yeah, anyone could go at the time. It's been proven.
Fire!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mark isn't adjusting well to his new role as aircraft commander. He's meant to be in charge, but he's not talking to his pilot enough or thinking about the dangers of the battlefield.
There it is, 12 o'clock. Right, 2 o'clock.
You've got it.
I'll see you, bunker. When he says shot over, that's a cue for you to look at your clock. Okay, that's why he's giving you the time of flight. And you can stay hidden till about 5 seconds or so before, and that's when you want to say, right, let's get up and have a look at it. So at the moment you're staying in full view of the enemy right through. I was giving you a clue earlier when I was counting for you, but you weren't taking any notice, so I shut up.
For Mark, the pressure of constant assessment and feedback is becoming oppressive. He's losing his enthusiasm for flying.
It's a year-long course. You can generate the self-motivation maybe for a month, 2 months, and then when you keep doing the same stuff over and over again, what might seem to you going over and over it again, but it's just honing your skills or honing the way that you're doing it, and they're just trying to get the best out of you, then it does become a bit, not tedious, but put a lot of pressure on yourself to get it right, and it just goes on from there.
The trainees are on the move. For the first time, they're leaving the familiarity of southern England and travelling northwest to Wales. They're heading for Snowdonia. If they're to become army pilots, they must be able to fly in any terrain, and Snowdonia has everything: mountains, valleys and bowls. They'll spend the next 3 days here learning to fly in unfamiliar conditions. Captaincy and judgment will be at a premium. For those who perform well, the prize is a solo sortie, a chance to fly through the valleys on their own. One by one, the trainees arrive at Llanbedr. This will be their base for the next 3 days.
Okay, take the rope.
Yeah.
Feed it through that hole there.
They're already facing their first problem, the wind. It's coming down off the mountains, blowing 35 knots, stronger than anything they're used to.
You know, as we came over the River Severn,
Yeah.
an elevator lift came down. I was looking for all these whales, but I couldn't see them. There was just like ground and no whales at all.
I was mostly disappointed.
Yeah, I know.
Well, as soon as I knew where I was, although I was sitting in the back and I had the map, and I didn't have a map or anything. Obviously, it was quite easy to find out where you were when you get into Severn.
Yeah, but there weren't any whales,
It just
were
looked
they?
the same. I got there, I just went,
Features and then Wales.
I thought I'd just give up trying to work out where we're going.
There you go, there you go.
I'll go to Wales.
You find out why so many Welshmen are living in England.
Why can't they shoot in Wales?
The last to arrive in Wales is Mark Hitch. He turns up half an hour late, having had a bad flight. He was cruising at the wrong speed, he missed several radio calls, got lost en route, and was overtaken by 2 other helicopters. The instructors are now seriously worried about him.
Get in here.
So we came over the Severn Estuary looking for these whales and I couldn't see anything. It's just it's like open ground.
We went straight in, well, just about to go into line zone with no RT call whatsoever. Visualization, again, very poor join here, very pointy, strong winds. He just wasn't aware of the wind, and I had to prompt him to check the windsock.
And these are basic things. That's
I
basic
know,
rotary.
I know, that's the concern. His eyes are fixed ahead, and I talked to him. Can be anything from talking about what he did at the weekend, just to try and relax him a touch, to offering him a mint. He just, it's like, couple of hits, hello, wake up. But he is improving very slowly, because I think he realised he has essentially has a nice set of hands. Like his landing here in gusty winds was quite nice. The set task of, right, land me here, he can cope with. It's expand it that he can't. You ask him for periphery aviation knowledge he's having difficulty with at the moment. He doesn't like responsibility, doesn't like it.
However much we like him as a person, you know, we are not making pilots anymore, we're making potential aircraft commanders. So the upshot is he is not to go solo. Now, how do we handle that? Do we lay the cards on the table and tell him? Do we let him get on with the mountains as it is and put it down to the weather? I don't think many of them are going to be going solo. And wait until we speak to the boss when we get back.
I'm working on his confidence now, and it is improving at a very slow rate. If we tell him now that he's not going solo, and the weather does come good tomorrow and everyone else goes solo, and we say it for those reasons, then his confidence will start coming down a few pegs. If we hit him with a full and honest truth now, then we are seeing, potentially we are seeing a drop in his confidence.
Could you go to the south of wherever it's from? No, it's stupid on an average.
The next morning, the trainees get their first proper look at the mountains. They're learning to use the wind by riding the updrafts and avoiding the downdrafts. It's very different from flying around Middle Wallop, their base in Hampshire.
I think the first thing that hits you is you think, you know, epic scenery. And it's, you know, I was sort of looking around thinking, wow.
We are quite high, believe it or not. I reckon we're about 200 feet above the landing point.
Yep, looks pretty
lot lower than that. Yeah, it does. So it could be deceptive. Okay.
The most difficult thing in the area is to control your height because of the updrafts of the air and everything. Pitch settings that you normally feel might not actually work. You have to look inside to the radar climb and descent indicator to actually get an idea of what's going on.
Okay, there's a bit of turbulence coming off the top. Nothing we can't handle though, nice and gentle, there we go.
It's great fun, but also, you're aware of the fact that it's, potentially very dangerous.
Come a bit further forward to establish hold over the top of the pinnacle, please.
The trainees are taught to respect the mountains and think about safety at all times.
Who's flying the aeroplane? Is the aeroplane flying you, or are you flying it?
No, I'm flying the aeroplane. It feels...
Pick a point on the ground and shoot your approach at it.
It's a totally new ball game compared to what we're all used to. Like back in Middle Wallop, if the engine's going to stop, you're basically going to land on something which has got the surface of a bowling green. Whereas up here, all you've got is these nice crunchy rocks sticking everywhere. You've got to be very careful and very precise in where you're going to go at all times. And a lot of the time, you're actually putting yourself in a situation where the best you're going to get out of an engine failure is to sort of crawl from the wreckage at the bottom of the valley.
The wind can make such a difference to what you're doing, and you really got to think about where it's coming from, what it's likely to be doing. No two approaches are the same, obviously, because with the valleys and everything else that's around coming over the ridges, there's a lot for us to think about.
Use that backdrop technique, that's good. Come down a bit.
It's very strange, you look at the map and you can see how high these things are and they're quite impressive, but scale and so on is very difficult to assess. You're flying over something and it doesn't look very big at all, and you work out how high it must be. It's quite awkward, little white dots that are the sheep on the side to try and give you an idea of scale. So they're pretty awesome actually.
Bit of height loss there, noticed.
Well, why was that?
Not bringing in the collective and not keeping an eye on my instruments.
I have control.
You have control.
Instruments.
The trainees spend the rest of the day flying different sorties.
See where you're actually going.
They return to Llanbedr aware of how small and vulnerable a helicopter seems, surrounded by mountains.
Okay.
You have control.
I have control.
Okay, starting off with the vector diagram, first thing, is everybody happy with what a vector is? No.
Begging.
Back at the hotel, the day ends in a makeshift classroom.
Before we start, just to get back to basics, starting off with an incredible drawing of an aeroplane.
The trainees are now expected to give lectures while the instructors sit back and watch.
Alright, so you've got the relative airflow coming down.
This one is being given by Corporal Nigel Harrison, his reward for flying the worst sortie of the day.
Increase the pressure.
Like Mark Hitch, Nigel is losing ground to the others. But in his case, it's a problem of overconfidence. As a former air crewman, he thinks he knows it all, and he's not trying hard enough.
And I'll explain this best.
Corporal Harrison obviously arrived up from basic rotary, not starring, but obviously didn't have too many problems down there. When he got up to here, he started all right, but we've reached a point where he stopped progressing. It sort of went through steady progress to slow progress to zero progress, to the point that his last trip he was actually having to have a whole bunch of things retaught to him, which we don't have time to do at this stage of the game.
A line? A dotted line?
Corporal Hitch and Corporal Harrison have handled it in different ways.
Okay, so
Corporal Hitch has withdrawn into himself a little bit and started to put the barriers up, whereas Corporal Harrison to a certain extent has tackled it aggressively and stepped forward to give an outward impression of still being in control.
Okay, excuse the use of non-colour.
We're still a fair way from the end, so we have got time to, teach him. That's what we're here for. But the ultimate shove is going to come from him.
On the last day in Wales, the weather has closed in. It's still possible to fly, but no one will be going solo today.
You could also then work out from the compass.
The instructors are confident they can sort out Nigel Harrison's problems.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And if you can actually come in from here,
They're hoping that extra tuition from the Flight Sergeant Major will cure his complacency and bring him back into line.
slightly oblique to it, and just assess, yeah.
But with Mark Hitch, they're more worried. He's becoming increasingly withdrawn.
Up and out right. All clear left. Clear left. He's just the one.
They've given him a different instructor today who'll try and help him relax, if possible. At the same time, Nick Warmby and Sean Dufficy are ringing their senior officer to relay their worries about Corporal Hitch.
He's an unhappy teddy bear at the moment. Yeah, without doubt. I've spent near an hour with him in the hangar, talking through it. He's at max capacity, for lots of reasons. And it goes right back to chipmunks. It goes a long way back. It is snowballing and it's getting worse, and he has one last chance just to chill out a bit.
Okay, let's transition directly head into wind. All clear left and above. All clear left and above. All clear right and above. And could you have a quick temperatures and pressures check, please? I'll be looking, yeah, everything's good inside. I'm transitioning. Good. Easy peasy Japanese, eh? Mark? Yeah. Okay, let's go around to the right.
I know, he did say in the hangar yesterday, most miserable time of my life, and that's the quote. Which I find very sad when this is going to be his career, you know, his vocation in life. I've already mentioned that to him. I said that he needs to go and talk to someone professionally about this he's building up all his pressure and all his stress on the inside. But the thing is, his attitude is excellent. He's a hard grafter. He works bloody hard.
All clear to the left to land. Well clear left. All clear to the right. Check disc clearance left, please. Yep, it's all clear. Wicked. Great. Okay, let's go back out then. No problem there, was there? No. I personally think the bowl's the best fun of all of them. Say it is. Say it is. Yeah.
No matter how hard the instructor tries, Mark won't be drawn into conversation. He refuses to unwind. His senior officers have decided he now needs to seek medical help.
All right, grab a seat. No. No? Listen, this is not as bad as it's going to seem, all right? There is... Grab a seat, relax, chill out. We're going to have a chat, nothing more. There's nobody on this course at the moment who want to get their wings more than you. Right? Why? Because I like you, because you are the most reliable NCO on this course, you get things done, you're mature, sensible, and you work hard. However, at the moment we're getting the impression that you're not enjoying it. You've got to meet us halfway. Captain Duffy says that you actually said this is the most miserable time in your life.
You're not handling the pressure. You just completely lock in. And I've told you this, you know, this is nothing new to you, is it? You know, it's, we've tried to solve this, what, 2 weeks now? 3 weeks now? The thing is, I think you've got the potential to do it. I think you can if you can handle your stress and your pressure, that you're self-inducing. It's not me. I don't think I'm putting you on under unfair or excessive pressure and stress in any way.
And most instructors you've flown with being fairly relaxed and very fair. Are we looking at an instructor change? Are we looking at take time out and start again? Are you enjoying it? Say what you think.
College.
After an hour, the meeting ends. Mark has agreed to see an army doctor to talk over his problems. That evening, the whole course leaves Snowdonia and returns to the flat pastures of Hampshire. Their first taste of mountain flying is over. Back at the base, the coursework continues, but Mark is sent straight to the medical centre. The doctor rules that he's too stressed to fly and should be grounded for the time being.
A lot of the students haven't been in jobs before where they are assessed on a daily or twice daily sometimes basis. They haven't been tested in such a way before. They haven't been asked as much before, and they find it quite difficult to come to terms with that, getting up every day and knowing that somebody is going to be looking critically at their performance. Once somebody is under that kind of stress, they tend to try and compensate by spending more time studying and checking and practicing, and that can lead to a vicious circle until, one may get to the point where somebody's spending their whole time completely devoted to the pilot's course, to the exclusion of all else, and that is an unhealthy state of affairs.
Mark has been told his flying is good enough to get him through the course, but if he wants to carry on, he'll have to adopt a more positive approach. He's been given 3 days to make up his mind. Does he really want to become an army pilot? After a long weekend, Mark has made his decision. He's agreed to stay on. He's still uncertain about flying, but having spent 10 months on the course, he doesn't want to throw it all away now.
It's not just a 6-week course in the army, it's a year. And if you didn't want it, it's a year out of your life. A year's a long time anyway. I tend to just crack on and do the work and try and do the best. Take one exercise after another, one lesson after another. But no, just battle on. I've had down points. He wasn't.
Are you on a down or on an up?
Level. Flatlining.
While Mark flies off, the fate of the other problem trainee is also being decided. Nigel Harrison hasn't responded to the extra tuition he received in Wales. Now more drastic action is required.
I've been back course to the course behind ours for a number of reasons. Basically they feel that those reasons can be resolved with an extra 6 weeks consolidation of basically what we've just done. Not a nice feeling. It feels like somebody just kicked you in the crotch with the old proverbial size 9s. But at the end of the day, it has given me a second crack at the whip, if you like. So just going to have to knuckle down and get on and show that I can do it. We have spent 10 months as a course together. You get to know the guys really well. You sort of set up a little rapport with them and all the rest of it. So it's going to be difficult, obviously, seeing them go through, finish the course, get their wing, go on the wings parade. But it's just a case of get on and do the best from now on.
Nigel Harrison will have to leave 354, redo 6 weeks' work and continue his training with course 355. The instructors are hoping that this will be enough of a shock to change his attitude and work harder at his flying. Only 6 of the original 10 trainees on course 354 have made it to the Christmas break.
Right, all I want to say is, well done.
You've all passed phase 1 and 2. Going to sea flight, only advice I can give you is everything we've taught you here, stick to the basics. Fly the aircraft.
In the new year, 354 will start the final tactical phase of their training with a new flight commander. This is Nick Warmby's chance to say goodbye.
JP, you need to carry on as you did in your PhD and stay flexible. For you, you're going to have to start shaving off the corners of your deliberateness. For you, Bob, still think you could do a little better on the captaincy side. Your map reading is going to be your big strength. For you, make sure you're always perfect. Your handling pilot is always perfectly clear what you want from him. Yeah. At times, you know what you want, and you can fly it yourself. But you've now got to start communicating it to him and going, "Oi, do this." And for you, Jenny, just the assertion side of it again, as with Bob. You can do it, and you're still being taught when you get up there. Yeah. So how does it feel to have 6 weeks to go, 4 weeks flying? What do you reckon, Colonel Hitch?
I reckon we should ban leave, sir. We should all stay behind. And more flying. It's too easy, sir. I've been watching Renaissance.
Nick Warmby will be starting with a new group of trainees after Christmas. But before he's finished with 354, he has one more duty to perform.
Do you want some sacks, mate?
Sacks? Yeah.
Nick and his roommate Charlie are the star attraction at the officers' Christmas ball.
5 months pregnant.
Christmas.
Well, it's a hidden secret.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody, otherwise all the little kiddies around the UK will be going berserk. I want to get a middle wallet. I want to get a middle wallet. That's where Santa lives.
Take me to the School of
Take me to the
Aviation.
School of Aviation.
That's where Santa Claus lives.
We're coming up to Christmas now. As soon as they get back, it's going to be a completely different world from them. New flight commander, new instructors, and essentially a new environment. They are purely into the tactics and operational flying. So leading up to Christmas leave, this is really the last time they've got to let their hair down. And if they don't, they'll go mad.
After 10 months, the trainees know the end is in sight. But before they can look ahead to the Wings Parade, they'll have to pass the final hurdle, their toughest test yet. They have to take their helicopters into a tactical war zone.
I feel better than good.
Better than good?
Yes, which is a lot better.
What would you like for Christmas?
A nice one, please.
A nice one? Sound Pilot's Wings?
I love that.
No, 2 homes.
Say that again.
Happy Christmas.
Say that
Happy Christmas.
I'll do that. Thank you, Santa.
Hey, kiss
Every single one of you will have a hurdle on this pilot's course.